What's going on, guys? Gilly Del Trez here, creator of Under the Flesh, Lair, Pistolera, Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, and the Deep Dark. So, I want to talk to you about something that hopefully, if it does happen to you, I kind of don't want you guys to get too excited. It's very exciting, obviously, if someone approaches you about turning your created work into a film or a TV show. That's always, pretty exciting. And I wanted to share a little of how my experience is going so far, just in case anyone, has a similar thing going on. Normally, you kind of don't want to talk too much about things. You kind of want to wait for something to happen to be excited about, to talk about. But at the same time, there's some things I hope with this video to try to create some awareness where we don't land in any pitfalls, right? So with that being said, I did create this pretty cool looking book that I was able to crowdfund. I wanted to do a Western, and I was able to do it. So I'm happy about that. So I had a project called Pistolera, and it's my take on the the Western genre. It's a vendetta Western. It's pretty good stuff, and hopefully I could share it with you, but apparently this thing does not want to open up, and that is definitely not cool. Let me see if I could do it this way instead. Hopefully I can. I just wanted to show just a little bit of the work because Pistolera was a 30-page one shot. Here we go. And so this is a cover, or one of the variant covers we have. And, in a nutshell, the story centers around a pregnant teen looking for redemption, looking for vengeance, pretty much. And she wants vengeance against the sheriff who violated her. And to do so, she seeks out her estranged fugitive brother to teach her the ways of the gun, right? And I was able to wrap this up in 30 pages. And it was a fun project. And I always wanted to write a Western. So what I'm going to do is I'm just scrolling through just so you can get an idea of, the quality of the work. And, when I had this actually live, the campaign, I had launched it on Kickstarter first, and then I brought it to Indiegogo. And I had received a message from Kickstarter. And a lot of times sometimes it's people just, blowing up your message box for exposure. Hey, if you want to get more backers on your thing, you pay $50 or something. And it's just a lot of nonsense, right? But I received the message, and the message that I received, and I had shared that in another video way back when, that it was someone who genuinely had a connection with a prominent streaming service. And they actually have a current project that's actually filming a 10-part series. And they wanted to talk about Pistolera. And of course, I'm like, this got to be a joke, right? But I checked out the person's credentials. Everything seemed to be legit. And I was a little excited just because it's a good thing. It's just, when someone notices your work and they see the potential in it to want to expand it into, either a movie or a TV show. I mean, that's another reason why I love comics, because a big part of comics for me is also wanting to see some of my stuff, in the silver screen, right? I mean, who doesn't want that, right? So as I scroll through some of the stuff here, you guys could get an idea of the project. I wanted you to know that when anyone is interested in your stuff, it's great, but you also have to be, let me just stop screen sharing. How do I do that? Okay. So what I wanted to share is the experience, right? So after I was able to fund the campaign, I brought it to Indiegogo and we got a little bit more support there, which was cool because it allowed me to print enough copies for me to get on as a exhibitor on the convention circuit, comic book conventions, right? And that was my first experience. That was great. So what I did was I sent the copy to this person who was interested. To this, it was an indie film producer, and they enjoyed the finished result because when I was crowdfunding, the project wasn't finished. All I had was a pitch, and we're trying to get the project where we can print it out. So after reading everything, and we got into an email, opened up an email correspondence, and it was pretty. The communication was very good. They wanted to talk in over the phone about the project. So one thing you got to understand, if you ever get to this point where someone's interested, you're gonna have to get to the point where you're talking over the phone, like a Skype call or something. It's inevitable. There's no way to have email communication back and forth about something very, very in depth. Like you're gonna need to break that ice. So try to understand that you're gonna have to, maybe practice in front of a mirror, just work the nerves out. But you're gonna have to talk to a person over the phone about this. So we talked a few times. We had a great connection with the producer, and they actually wanted to what we call purchase the audio visual rights. And before you even get to that point, you have to understand that there's a lot of moving parts. Things really, really take time when it comes to this type of agreement or this type of process when you want to do a creative work into something. Audio visual rights are involved. So when I said, yeah, that sounds good, the producer is very helpful. He's like, I'm going to be working up a script or whatnot. And we're talking, not a script. I mean, a contract. I mean, the contract is going to be, it's a big deal. It was like 10 something pages, maybe even 20. And to be honest, I tried reading it over myself and yeah, that's way out of my league. Way out of my league. So if you ever get to the point where you have someone interested in your stuff, that's great. And be realistic. It's good to be hopeful and stuff, but you have to be realistic. And it's funny because when I talked to the producer over the phone, and we talked about everything, and I told him, I'm like, I don't have high hopes, for this. He laughed. I mean, because I'm being honest, I gotta be pragmatic. I mean, I know things take time. I mean, there's a lot going on, and I'm here to take my time with it. This is something that I'm definitely not gonna rush. So with that being said, if any of you guys ever get to the point where you're entertaining this type of agreement, this type of option, patience is key. Take your time. And if you feel it might be a little out of your handle, out of your scope, don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay. Because again, you don't want to, get into a situation where, you can't get the best for your, for your project, or, you want to do the right thing. You don't want to make any mistakes that you can't, recoup from. You want to, be respectful to everybody involved, obviously, but you want to also treat your work with respect, and you want to make sure that you're entering into something that is beneficial for everybody. Okay, because again, having your work being optioned or being shopped, to a film producer or film production companies, it's a cool first step. Um, but with that being said, you need to understand that everyone should benefit in a way where all parties are satisfied. And if you want to understand how tricky this can be, um I mean, just Google certain things Google. I mean, there's a lot to digest out there, a lot of knowledge that's out there. and don't be afraid to ask questions. So with that being said, the exposure would be really good, right, for any creator that's going to have his work either option to either become a TV show or a film series. And that's great. I mean, that's also part of it, right? Exposure, right? And you also know that creating movies, it's also a process. There's budgets involved, there's timelines, there's a lot going on. So that's why when I was realistic and pragmatic, I'm like, listen, I'm not expecting nothing, is because I understand how this works, because I always wanted to make it into film. I went to film school. I directed a few short films. I kind of understand what it takes to be an actor, to be a director, a screenwriter, like even a producer. Like there's everything. There's so many aspects involved. And when you do a TV show, it's different. There's a showrunner, and there's so many things that you need to understand. So a lot of reason why things get greenlit. And, obviously if you're connected, that helps. But apparently, sometimes you get, where someone sees your stuff, and how my work got exposed was just incredible, like how he found it on Kickstarter. So that's why sometimes it's also good to put your stuff on every platform for everybody, because you don't want to limit yourself. You don't know who's out there that can give you a real opportunity. So definitely you want to take your time. If anything like this happens, you want to be realistic and you want to be patient. Don't jump into anything. Don't get too excited. Well, congrats to people when you go to Hollywood. Andrew J. Andrew, you're funny, dude. Oh man, so here we got Andrew J. He's like, wow, congrats. Remember us little people when you go Hollywood. Like, yeah, here's a big misconception too. Like, I hope something good comes out of this, right? Because then again, there's no promise that you're gonna make buku bucks, because let's say if you that's why you got to know what you're signing to, right? Because if that contract, kind of in a way is taking your rights away, or just not giving you a certain percentage, or like maybe that might be where I guess negotiations could open up, and I guess I understand that's why it's also important to have an agent, because they can definitely help you with these kind of things. And then this is like, I just hope they don't take you to the back room and Harvey Weinstein is waiting for you naked. Yeah, I mean, I love some of the stuff that came out from their film house, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't want that situation, and I'm definitely not for that type of exchange for getting my stuff out there. Is it still possible to grab a copy of Pistolera? It is right now. The only way that's like kind of the best way is maybe just contacting me through direct message on Twitter or Facebook. And we could arrange where I can ship you a copy out through PayPal. That'd be cool. I definitely have some copies left. And also, if you haven't back Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, that's another project I'm doing. I do have like a little bundle that comes with Pistolera. So that's also cool. But yeah, so you got to be aware of what you're getting into. So if any of this happens, take your time, come down to earth. Just because someone does like your stuff doesn't mean you're instantly going to be a big hit in Hollywood. How many movies do come out? There's not enough marketing. There's not enough exposure. The movie doesn't do as well, or even streaming. I don't even know how that would work. If it's a movie that's being streamed, how does that work? Does it work on clicks? Does it work on how many people are viewing your stuff? There's a lot that even I don't know, and I'm just getting familiar with. So with that being said, I just wanted to just let whoever is a creator, if this is something that happens, just be positive, take it in stride, and use it as a learning experience. Because again, I'm still learning as I go. Be ready to you got to talk. Be ready to talk. Be comfortable with speaking on the phone over important business matters, because that's going to be something. There's going to be a lot of questions. That's how you're taking it to the next step. When you get to the point where you're getting contracts being sent to you, that's where you want to either be on a good relationship, so you can talk with the producer, and he can have any questions, you can ask them, and he can explain to you. And also, if it's a little out of, uh, your realm of understanding, because some of these contracts could be, written in a way that's hard to understand, don't be afraid to ask help. Don't be afraid for Google to Google for information. And maybe even if you get to that point, that could be a good baseline to try to see if you can get some representation for everyone to be on for everyone's benefit. But anyway, guys, this was a short one. I don't want to talk too long, but I just want to say it's a cool thing. If you have any type of creative work, if you're a comic creator where a producer's interested in your stuff, just take it one step at a time. Use it as a learning experience. Don't get too impulsive. Don't get too overjoyed, because again, everything is a slow process, and you want to make sure it's mutually beneficial for everybody. So take your time and ask questions, and don't be impulsive. And I'm not throwing any names of the producers, obviously, because I don't want people to be like, hey, I got this script, check it out, because that's not professional. Right? I remember I did a tweet about this just because I was excited, and PISTOLERA was still funding. And, again, it's hard to get any type of exposure or get any people eyes on your book. It's natural. It's genuinely hard. So I remember putting a tweet like, hey, just, we're actually, got the attention of like a film producer from a prominent streaming service that's actually interested about PISTOLERA. And I shared it as a tweet. And I remember someone, DMing me like, oh, could you send them like my stuff, or could you tell them about me? Like, it's not that kind of connection. Like, this isn't my buddy who's like Harvey Weinstein or Weinstein. These are the weenies in my head because the dude said, you don't want to be naked with Harvey Weinstein, right? Definitely don't want that. But I don't have that kind of connection with anyone from Hollywood where I can be like, yeah, here's my buddy's stuff. Check it out. Like, I know that's how it works in Hollywood. And sometimes these projects that shouldn't even be made get made because, of course, there's a good, they know this one, they know that one. I get it. But I don't have that kind of connection. This was just something that happened through the joy of the internet. Just, somehow, hey, saw my stuff through Kickstarter. I mean, that's how random it is. People are looking for stuff. So it's also good to get on two platforms. But again, so that person was like, hey, Seth. I said, hey, man, I'm just getting to know the guy. So it's kind of like unprofessional to just be like, hey, well, by the way, I'm just meeting you, but here's my buddy's stuff if you want to, option his stuff as well. So, hey, we got Mr. Looper. What's going on, Rod? Hey, Rod, so since you're on real quick, please DM me, because I definitely want to get on. I know we talked about trying to do like a little show like this, and maybe we can talk a little bit about what our project is. We could just throw a little stuff out there. And then you can maybe draw something, and it'd just be a cool little show, just so we can start streaming a bit more and getting out there. So yeah, so guys, I appreciate everyone who stopped by, and PISTOLERA, hopefully the it'd be great to see it as a film. It's definitely worthy enough where we got this far. So that's also good. If you're a creator and you get to that point, be happy, because it shows that people are seeing your work. But also bring it down to earth, because again, you got to keep things realistic, and you got to have low expectations. You can't go in there thinking this, and that, because again, you're going to be crushed. You got to take your time. You got to be realistic. So thank you for everyone who checked out the channel. Like and subscribe. Definitely check out Galactic Rodents of Mayhem. It's another book I'm doing, and it's a good sign if you got a producer looking at interested in one of your books, because hopefully they could check out your other stuff. And, that's the best thing. As Rod Looper also says here, the best thing is low expectations. Always works. Yeah, like, Rod's an amazing artist. And even as an artist, even with projects, like that's like another thing too. Like, even when you're creating your work, try to have low expectations. Even with crowdfunding, have low expectations. Don't always have high hopes, because you might not be able to fund your books, and you need to have like a plan B option. Right now, Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, I aimed super high because it's a 100-page book, and the pricing is there for $25 with $10 shipping, 100-page book. But even then, $15,000 is a lot for me, because even though I got a good work and it is showing potential, because you still got to understand, like, my audience, I'm still growing my audience. I'm still new. Even though I've been writing for a while, I've been trying to get published, but like, I'm still new. No, a lot of people don't know who I am. A lot of people are getting to know me. So even now that I think about it, maybe that 15,000 goal was kind of high. So have low expectations, keep things low, and always be thinking about, and Andrew J. Grom, yeah, always be thinking about the big picture. And even if things don't happen the way you expect or anticipate, everything is learning. Failure is not failure. It is learning. Okay, you guys gonna understand that, because I failed a bunch of times. And I've had campaigns that I had to cancel because I didn't want to see the unfunded thing, and I just canceled it. So then I have some that I cancel for different reasons. So again, you can always bounce back. It's learning, and I'm getting into a good groove right now with my stuff. And if Pistolera is a good sign because it's 30 pages and it's picked up by a producer, I do have another project that I'm launching literally right after Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, because it's a 30-page book that I'm on with another artist. And again, hopefully something could happen with that. So guys, definitely stick around, watch the stuff that I'm putting out, because I'm a very hungry and passionate creator. And I definitely want to do good works. I want to do good things. I want to have fun in comics. And I want to just show that we could still bring good storytelling out there. And I'm an underdog. And if you guys like an underdog story, I'm definitely someone that I have no connections. I'm literally, just grinding the hard way to just get up there. So I think it's cool if you could follow someone and be like, man, I remember when this guy was really struggling. And then he's like, kind of prominent where he could crowdfund some cool books consistently. And that's all I really want, is to do that, And for sure, this is why I love Arnold's words. Yeah, man. You got to share these words, man. Arnold, which Arnold we're talking about? Is this Arnold Schwarzenegger's words? Did he say something? But you gotta be hopeful, right? And this is a good story that we got going on. And Rod, I got another one that again, something small. Keep it like 30 pages and tell a story. And again, if it works, it works. Continue or not. But again, I think it's also important to have, if you're a comic book creator, it's great to have an ongoing series. It's always amazing. I'm not gonna lie. We all love amazing stuff, right? Arnold from Different Strokes. The Terminator, the 6 rules for success. Yeah, man. He said Arnold versus Different Strokes. Oh, man. Yeah, the 6 rules for success. I'm going to Google that. I don't know what Arnold said. One-shot books is really good. Because, again, so if you guys don't know, like, I started a book called Under the Flesh. And that was, for me, my way of trying to get into comics, thinking the ongoing. I thought the first issue would get picked up by a publisher. Publishers want to see the finished work. Okay, so if you got a book, make sure it's 100% finished, because that's what they want to see. They want to move something and they want it to be done. So I learned that people were interested in Under the Flesh, but I needed issues to be done. I had, I think, the first issue done, or the second one was coming, and I wasn't prepared for that. And then I paused it because the artist got some Marvel work going. So I'm like, okay, I can't wait for another, or I don't want to do another story that's ongoing and I get a situation where maybe the artist gets, kind of tied down. I'm like, you know what? I also love closure. I like closure in a book. You watch a movie, if it ends in a cool way, it's good closure, right? So, hey, E.G. Morgs, what's going on, buddy? What you talking about, Willis? Yeah, what you talking about, Willis? Yeah, EJ Morgs is a pretty cool dude. I know his handle because I've seen it on Twitter, and he said some really cool things about some of the work I'm doing, and he's really motivational. So I appreciate this dude, and I think it's cool, And as also Rod Luber says, always embrace the fail. Yeah, that's just part of it. Failure is hard to take, man. I've been rejected by publishers. I've been rejected by cool artists that I wanted to work on my books. I'm no stranger to rejection. It happens a lot more than people might think. But it's part of, it's part of the growing process, as Rod also says. It's definitely part of the growing process. So here you got Andrew J. But one more Arnold show follows not to knock him the housekeeper. I got to get ready for these comments. I don't normally have, people throwing in comments when I do a live stream. So Andrew J, that's very funny. Yeah, Arnold, that's not a good one, right? Let's stay true to our wives, right? If you're married, don't go knock up the housekeeper. I don't think that's good for business. But again, if you're the Terminator, I guess you can get away with that. Yeah, this is good stuff. It's always we got to grow and evolve, guys. It's right. That's what Rod said. That's part of it. Just grow and evolve. Take every experience as a learning experience. Even if you knock up the housekeeper, just please don't repeat that. And be a father to that kid. And look at me going on a tangent on this. Um, so yes, growth. Failure is growth. All right. And be realistic, be practical. So with the 30 pages, the one shots, right? So after the Under the Flesh, I did Lair, which was a 60 pager, and that was a big learning experience. That was a bit ambitious for me at the time because I had my Under the Flesh backers who kind of wanted to see that story going, and I'm jumping into another story. So, I want them to know that book isn't abandoned. But again, then Pistolera came along. I said, okay, this is 30 pages. Forget 60, forget 30. Got that funded, and now I got a producer interested. So then I got really ambitious with Galactic Rodents of Mayhem because I said I want to bring something fun back. And that's when we got the anthropomorphic capybaras, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Star Wars, freaking Saturday morning cartoons in a comic book on roids. And that's what I'm doing. And it's ambitious. And if that doesn't fun, I'm not going to be upset because that book is going to get made. We'll just do it in smaller chunks. And I want closure. You'll get a cliffhanger, but that's how it works. And now I have another project, The Deep Dark. It's going to be 30 pages. And the project I'm doing with Rod Looper will also be 30 pages. So, the good thing about 30 pages, you got a short work. It's almost like a writer that's just starting on the scene, and he starts with an anthology book of like a bunch of short stories, right? So I think what I'm doing with my little 30-page one-shots, I think I want to put that also into a big volume just to show like the different stuff that I did it in 30 pages, just to show my range as a creator. But it's definitely a grind, Look what Rod, wow, in 20 years of art, damn it. I listened many times that I would live from my art. Yeah, man, art is beautiful, dude. It's inspiring. It's uplifting. It takes us out of dark places. Art is beauty. And if I can contribute and team up with people that want to contribute, it's amazing. 20 years later, and I'm still here drawing and living from my art. So not many people could do what Rod does, especially artists, where they can make a living out of it. So kudos to Rod Looper because he grinded to get to the point where he can do that. And it's a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice that he was luckily able to do because, again, if you're an artist, to make money from your work that's like where if you can live off it, that's amazing. So any creators out there, even if you're writing, put your stuff out there. I haven't got paid for my writing work yet, and I do not care. I get paid by seeing the tangible book in my hands. And as long as my artist is getting paid 100%, I'm happy because he put my work to life. So I'm not in it for the dollar bills. I'm in it to have more books stacked up. So that's for me. And then go hard, my friend. Yes, for sure. Please, 30 pages, no more 100 pages. See, I think with the 100 pages book, if you have an audience that can give you the money to fund a 100-page book, and you have an artist that's committed to the 100 pages and where he's not doing any other work and he loves the book where he's not going to get bored or he loves the project, it could be a really fun experience. It could be a community thing where you share each page update, you do videos while you're drawing the pages. It could be an amazing experience in a 100-page book. But for now, 30 pages or even shorter pages are good for certain artists. And I think for Rod's case, he's been working on a lot of books that, been taking a lot of time. And that could be good and good because he's getting that work. But then also, a strain because maybe sometimes you want to get into other projects and you can't. So the project that I'm doing with Rod, it's going to be a project where he's going to be on the book 100%. We're keeping it black and white for budget. But we're going to have a really good story out there. Don't want to talk too much about it, but we definitely got something planned. Art is definitely necessary in our world, no doubt. Rod also says, other rules from Uncle Arnold. I never had a second plan, son. Yeah, man. Relationship is key. For me, marriage is really big. I'm a big advocate for marriage. I think when you have a woman behind you, and you marriage is a commitment first and foremost. Right? It's keeping your word, right? It's a choice, okay? Because marriage, right? And nowadays things are flaky. Guys, take your time. Don't rush it, right? But when you find that woman, you're gonna make that commitment. Honor that like a man, right? Because that's what marriage is, right? Um, you're the artist for Detective Dead. Yes, he is. And artist, I was an artist. I would live one streets that the kind of commitment. So some people go hard. Some people go hard. Rod Looper is the type that if he had to be on the streets, or if he wasn't an artist, he'd be on the streets. Like, thank God he's not on the streets. He's definitely here. He's got this good thing going. I'm still working on Detective Dead. Don't get me wrong, but man, it's a long run delivery of the book. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We got to have expectations and we got to understand. So me as a creator too, right? Like, I like to write, I like to create projects, but I got to understand the pace of the artist too. So maybe I don't want to have another big book, because again, I don't know my artist's schedule. I want to, again, crowdfunding is also delivering. And you don't want to have too many projects out there and you have so many people waiting and nothing's coming of it. So that's also, it's like a gamble, right? And Andrew J is a backer. I backed the digital version because I was limited on budget and I was trying to back so many books at once. So sometimes the digital version for me is the best way, although I rather have a physical copy in my hand. But yes, that one is definitely coming out. So yeah, Prime Hero. Thank you, buddy. What's going on, my man? So this is a good stream. I appreciate everyone who was here. Rod throwing down some wisdom, Andrew J throwing down some wisdom as well, and a bit of hilarity. We had EJ Morgs come in, and he had some cool stuff to say. But we could do 4 books of 30 pages each. That's also a good thing, do like volume 1, volume 2, if it picks up, right? I like leaving it to the backers, see if they want to pick it up, we'll pick it up. But I also like closing it out in a way where if we don't pick it up right away, we could pick it up a little bit later and like nothing happened. So I appreciate everyone who stopped in. Just talking about Pistolera and pretty much what to expect. If you're a creator and someone wants to option your stuff, definitely be hopeful. But be realistic and have low expectations, and failure equals learning. So again, I want to thank everybody. Yes, Prime, you'll get it. Yes, it's not a long show. It was cool because I had some people coming on, so I think it's really cool when you guys chip in and to just say some cool stuff. It's fun. Like, I'm seeing how like this could be really a community thing, and even for me, I'm almost at 100 subscribers, so I think it's cool, and I kind of want to do different type of content. I want to do something that I think could be beneficial for everyone, for you guys. And hey, if we've talked about knocking up the housekeeper, we could joke about it. Again, I'm not going to say that's you guys are making me laugh. That's just something we don't want to do. But again, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he could get away with it. Okay. Maybe on your next live stream, I can make a drawing of Pistolera. Rod, whatever you want to draw, it'd be great. If you want to draw a Pistolera, if you want to draw, anything, dude. If you want to draw something from Detective Dead, that'd be cool. If you want to draw something from, if you want to draw Arnold Schwarzenegger, not with the housekeeper, please. That's another thing. There's so many things we can do, just whatever you want. We'll just, a matter of fact, that might be something where we could just talk about, and we'll give like maybe 30-minute sketch where or an hour sketch. You just do whatever comes to mind, and maybe we could do our own little low budget, we take a little vote and on Twitter, and I'll put it out there. Me and Rod are going to do a show. What do you guys want us to draw? And, we could do that and take it from there. So yeah, I got to practice on not laughing when you guys throw some funny stuff out there. We had different strokes. We had 2 different Arnolds today, right? So, this is good. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I'm about to get some grub. I'm about to eat some food. I'll do a live stream tomorrow. Arnold with the housekeeper from Family Guy. I don't know if you guys know the Family Guy, the housekeeper there, the Spanish lady's hilarious. Oh my God, I remember her. She's a trip. Oh, the way she talks, she's just so like stern and just one word. And yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, I digress. My guys, I appreciate everyone. You have to go. Yes, we do have to go, guys. I appreciate you. So what we'll do, I'm gonna get in touch with Rod Looper. That'll be our next show, and we'll figure out what we'll draw, and we'll have fun. To everyone who is here, I thank you. EJ Morgs, Prime Hero, Andrew J, Rod Looper. Appreciate you guys. Till the next one, thank you so much. And appreciate it. Yes, it was a great stream. Everyone have a good night. Till the next one. Love you guys. Later.